So I don't know if it was just me, but did anybody remember this clip that went around on TikTok and sort of Twitter a couple of weeks ago?
For some reason, girls love games where they just have control over everything. Animal Crossing,
Really?
The Sims.
Yeah.
I want to control you, and this is my furniture, and you're in this room, and we're not going anywhere. We're staying at home.
It didn't go super viral, but like the original had about, I think, like 20,000-ish views. So that doesn't include like stitches, reposts, all that kind of stuff. So quite a few people saw it. If you're new, hi, I'm Molly, LittleMoTAC. That's my dog Bruno. I'm sorry he's wandering around. And I like talking about things in gaming and pop culture. Please excuse the dog. He's trying to get treats that are out of his reach. Just pretend he's not here. I have not stopped thinking about that TikTok since I saw it. Because A, if you want to have the conversation surrounding why do women like playing games where they control stuff, you then have to have a conversation as to why men like playing games about war and shooting and murdering. So I don't know if we want to go down that road. And B, I think it leaves out a really big part of the conversation surrounding why women and other marginalized genders would want to play single player, cozy, calming video games like Animal Crossing over, say, an online team-based first-person shooter, for example. Basically, what prompted me to make this video was I saw that clip, like the TikTok, about 2 weeks ago, and then this morning I saw an article about a video Women in Gaming Argentina had put out. Women in Games Argentina is obviously an organization about supporting women in games in Argentina. According to their website, they say their main mission is to work for a more inclusive video game industry, based on several things: to be visible, to educate and create access and work opportunities for traditionally disadvantaged groups and minorities within gaming. The video that Women in Games Argentina did was they invited male streamers into the studio to play Valorant, which I'm sure you've heard of it, but if you haven't, it's a team-based FPS from Riot Games. I've played it a little bit, wasn't my cup of tea, but obviously it's very popular. And it's made by one of the biggest game companies in the world. I have heard of a lot of my female friends have had a lot of issues with sexism in Valorant. So obviously, you know where this video is going. While they were playing, they added like voice modulator changes to the male streamers to make them sound like women. I don't think it's hard to guess what their reception was when talking and communicating with their team. Especially if you are a marginalized gender, you probably experienced it. Now, I speak very basic Spanish, so the captions on the video were auto-generated by YouTube, like an auto-translate thing, and then the text on the video I translated myself. So please forgive me if I got any of it wrong. I did my best. Obviously, as a disclaimer, YouTube doesn't like auto-translate swear words and slurs, so I'm sure you can do your best guess and fill in the gaps.
Lo que es muy común es que no te tomen en serio o no te dejen seguir jugando.
Si quieren podemos intentar ir por B.
Nadie vaya por B, a ver si matan rápido a la puta.
¿Alguien me puede venir a dar una mano?
¿No querés abandonar la partida, mejor puta de mierda?
Ahí tenés la kill que querías.
La kill te la mereces vos y todas las mujeres.
Trata de cubrir a... Bueno,
¿No te gustan? No.
es un juego en equipo, tengo ganas de aportar.
Anda a la cocina a aportar mejor. Pedazo de puta.
No sé, que jueguen solos.
Sinceramente te saca las ganas de jugar, es algo que no querés hacer más, así que no me quiero imaginar a diario tener que vivir una experiencia así.
¡Qué mierda!
No se puede jugar así, che.
Lo que sentí frustración, indignación, la verdad, porque es tristísimo.
Estoy plantando, tenés que protegerme acá.
Ya que estás muerta y no jugando.
Es que no me están escuchando.
A ver, genial, si te escuchamos todos, flaca.
Otra vez lo mismo.
Salí de la partida, chupámela.
Querés dar lo mejor y no se puede. No puede hacerse nada directamente.
They interviewed the streamers after, and I don't want to play the whole interview or anything, but they basically said that it sucked. Like their team didn't want to communicate with them, they didn't treat them like a fellow team member, they let them die, all this kind of stuff. And I think videos like this and talking about this topic are so important because like stuff like this doesn't just, it's not like a 1 in 100 games thing or like a rarity when you get someone terrible in your games and you're like, oh, that sucked, what a horrible person. Like for marginalized genders, this kind of harassment happens like every day. Speaking from personal experience, I stream on Twitch like 4 times a week. I play a lot of Overwatch. This happens daily. Like, it's not like a rarity. Like, it's regularly scheduled programming, you know? I will get a minimum of one person touting sexist rhetoric daily. Obviously, this goes up or down depending on how many games you play, but like, it's so prevalent that you just get used to it. You know, me and my best friend, we play a lot of Overwatch together. And like when we get sexist people in our games, we just find it funny. Like we just mock them because like it's just so normal. What do you do? Like what are you meant to do? You know, like it just is. I don't get upset at it. Like it just washes over me. And adding to this topic, I think it's important to note how rare it is when those instances occur. How infrequent other men stand up and like say like, hey, that's not okay. Hey, don't say that. I think it's happened, I'm gonna say 3 times in the 6 to 7 years I've been playing online FPS games, where another guy on the team has like chatted back about it. And that's not saying like women need a man to stand up for them or like I need a man to save me or anything like that. It's just pointing out that if a man's being sexist to a woman in a game, he already doesn't care about her feelings or her opinion, so he's not gonna care like enough to stop. So I think that considering currently games are a majority male player base and that male player base is being silent when this stuff goes on, when is it going to change? Because like I said, they already don't care about me, they already don't care about women, they already hate us. So the only way that other men putting pressure on those men making those comments will do like a world of difference. Like it's just holding other men accountable, right? Because on the other hand, all like women and marginalized people can do in the gaming space is just be loud and really fucking annoying, which I take great pride in being. I think also in there, a certain portion of the gaming community who see stuff like homophobia, sexism, racism as like gaming banter, and that's just like how gaming is gonna be. But A, I don't think that's the attitude to take. I think we should always be aiming to better our communities. And B, I think it's very different having like banter and like being like, oh, you suck at the game, oh my god, get off the computer, uninstall. Still not great, but I think that's very different in comparison to hurling like misogynistic comments or like sexually harassing another player just because of the gender they've assumed they are from the sound of their voice. I think it's an accepted part of gaming and it just shouldn't be. Stuff like this keeps women out of games, particularly team-based games and online shooters. It can include streaming spaces, it can include gaming events, anything like that. And then to do a full circle to the clip at the beginning of this video, that's why women are more likely to play mobile games or cozy single players like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing and Sims, because there's no risk of being called a whore or told to go back to the kitchen in Animal Crossing, or in extreme cases, hearing threats of sexual assault in my ear holes. And with women being pushed out of competitive gaming, it means that they are less likely to enter it as a job, into streaming, into competitive gaming, and it also keeps women from taking up gaming as a hobby. This is a little bit of a heavy topic and I tried to keep it kind of lighthearted. Overall, like all I can do is implore men that don't hate women. Like if you hear sexism in a game, say something, because they certainly aren't listening to us. And also just encourage women and other marginalized communities in gaming to just be loud and take up space. And it's exhausting, because no one's making space for us. But ever since I realized that my presence in games annoys weird men for no reason, I promised myself that I would show up and be loud and take up as much space as possible. Just as like a PS or like an asterisk, a little footnote. This video was like a very brief touch on this topic of why women would maybe not want to enter into online gaming spaces, but it in no way like covers all of it. And also there are many like reasons across the board why that could be. I'd love to talk about them more in another video one day, but for today I just wanted to talk about it in reference to these 2 videos. And also I could talk about this for literally hours, but no one would want to watch that. So I just want to thank you for sticking with me through this video. I appreciate it a lot. Feel free to give it a little thumbs up and a little subscribe if you liked it. Maybe follow me over on Twitch and other social media and all that spiel that you have to say at the end of a video. And as like a PS, for some reason I know this is like a controversial topic in gaming, again because some men just hate women, but like if you're in the comments, just put something nice because it'll make a nice change. Okay, goodbye.